I want to say hi to all my fans. I love you.
Isn't it weird posting pictures of yourself on social media standing on a beach very early in the morning dressed in three jackets? At least it is for someone living along the equator. But there I am with other king scholars, and I don't think anyone else was quite so cold than I was. However weird this might be, it's among the best moments of my life. In the winter break of 2021, I traveled to Maine with the class of 2025 and 2024 King Scholars to spend time with the King Bob's family who extended invitation to us for Thanksgiving. From outside, the house looked small, but the house had everything one could imagine of, from fridges designed on the wall, to a pool table at Bob's office, and a fireplace at their entrance. On arrival, they welcomed us with hugs and gave us name tags for identification. As I expected, they struggled to say my name all the time. On the other hand, my phobia for dogs embarrassed me in front of everyone when their dog came running at me, and I accidentally stepped on it. It probably hated me for that because it kept running away from me all the time. We stayed at their place for 3 nights, and our mornings usually started with morning tea chit chats followed by animated walks towards the beach. As we strolled, I remember joking about how passing through a homestead of an fenced house is considered trespassing in the United States. I told one of my friends jokingly, "Watch out, man, you'll be shot." Sometimes we were carried away by the cool breeze, and we forgot to be back on time for the next event on our day schedule. My favorite parts were the nights we spent solving puzzles and the eventual excitement when we completed them. Interestingly, we were inattentive to the work we were doing. We were just chatting about our lives and our endeavors. We spoke about our first time at that meet, some of the things we found weird or interesting about the American culture thus far. On the first night of our stay, we went out on a limousine to dine with King Bob's old friends, and I think their house was one of the most exquisite buildings that I've ever been to. During my stay, I've appreciated the essence of Thanksgiving from Bob and Dottie and their friends who invited us for dinners at their places on different nights. They've all inspired me to be thankful for everything, something that I haven't learned to do quite often. In the following week, King Bob and Dory had planned for us a trip to the Capitol in Washington, D.C. This was a week-long trip which was purposed for leadership development through structured events. Boarding a plane for the second time in my life was exciting, but having to spend time with the friends that have been around for a whole week in Maine was even more exciting. I loved strolling through the streets of the Capitol at night, visiting the Smithsonian Museum where I pretended to be a president for a minute, and the African American Museum, and speaking with accomplished policymakers such as the House Representative of New Hampshire, CARE, state officials, and the World Bank officials. I cherished the fun moments that I had with my friends, struggling and eventually learning how to ride a scooter.
Can I try it? I've never tried it even.
It's hard.
Nostalgic memories of my 2015 visit to the Kenyan State House came flooding in my mind as I was taking pictures standing outside the White House of the United States. These were two different facets of my life, and I didn't imagine any would have happened as I worked hard to achieve at least a better and a decent life than my parents. Indeed, the unpredictability of life makes it immensely glamorous. 12 years before this week, I've never imagined being at this level of my life. The events of these 2 weeks couldn't be compared to the past 19 years of my life. If I would have been a crybaby, I would have cried, but unfortunately I'm not. In the course of 2 weeks, I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned that my communication skills aren't of the best level as I struggle to communicate with King Bob and Dory. Actually, someone sitting next to them had to repeat for them what I said for them to hear. On the other hand, I've learned to be a good listener, an empathetic person, as I listen to my friends' life experiences and stories. Most importantly, I've escaped the harsh winter weather in the almost lonely Dartmouth campus in the winter break. My 3 jackets were now useful in the cold New Hampshire when we arrived back on campus. At least I could convince my friends in Kenya along the equator that I wasn't a mad person and I was putting on 3 jackets on a beach.